afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters is right freaking here. I am Mike, aka Hammonton Mike, back after the long layoff after the birth of my son. Some odds and ends going on, you know, got to get a little sleep here and there, but back to my loyal fans, got a lot of responses. Where are my Sports Boxes? Where's Sports Box? We're coming hot and heavy for you for the next couple weeks. We'll have a lot of shows on for you, a couple specials, getting back into the swing of things. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about the NBA right away. Some key free agents have re-signed with their teams, namely Jimmy Butler, Kevin Love, Draymond Green. Draymond Green, I can't believe he got that much money for staying with the Warriors, but they did win a world championship, and that's what it does to you. Some odd things about the draft. The T-Wolves getting Karl Anthony Towns, I think it's a good move. I think you know, the T-Wolves need that presence inside that they're desperately missing from the days of Garnett. But this is the Wolves. I mean, who knows what the Wolves are going to do? There really haven't been a lot of people that have panned out for the Wolves other than Kevin Love, maybe Ricky Rubio, but we'll see. I think it's a good pick, obviously the only pick for the Wolves. The Lakers jumping up and taking D'Angelo Russell, point guard for the Ohio State Buckeyes. I think it's a great pick. I think he's going to be an absolute beast in this league. Here's a guy who can run the point they desperately need. They do have Clarkson. They do have Kobe, but Kobe is almost at the end of his career, so it's going to be nice to have him in the mix there. Definitely great shooter, good defender. I definitely think it's a good pick for the Lakers. They get to the Sixers pick, and they take Jahlil Okafor from Duke, the center. I don't mind the Duke pick because he is the third overall pick in the draft, best player on the board at the time. I have a problem with the next 5 or 6 picks they have not taking a point guard. Here's a team last year that traded Michael Carter-Williams and has nobody to run the point. And you could say they have the backup player on the bench, which the name's escaping me right now, but you need a guy to run the point in the league. There's a lot of good point guards in the league. People want to build with a center. I think you got to run the point as well as get a center. But the Sixers have, you know, known as Noel, not a true center, but a power forward. But I think you definitely had to try to jump up, maybe take a point guard if you can. Or I thought the pick was to move back and take Moutier. But in any sense, Okafor is the pick. I just don't see Okafor, Embiid, and Noel on the floor at the same time. And I also think that the Okafor pick was because they're not telling you something about Embiid. I think that pick's not working out, but we will see. The Knicks, Porzingis, taking a power forward. Knicks fans, if you watched the draft, they did not like that pick at all, but I think he'll be an okay player. Is he going to be a star? I don't think he will be, but it's good the Knicks have to start somewhere. They have Phil Jackson there. They get this train rolling. You got to start somewhere, folks. Porzingis, the pick at the time. The Magic, taking Mario Hezonja from Croatia. We'll see. I'm not too big on the European guys. Although Dirk Nowitzki came over and did well, a lot of other Europeans did well. I'm not big on Europeans in the top 10 picks. It happens more and more every day now, but we will see. The Kings, a couple other ones. Kings taking Willie Cauley-Stein from Kentucky center, big man. I think it's a good pick for them. You know, the Kings, they're not going to be that good this year. But again, you got to start somewhere with size. A lot of Divac trying to do his best there. Just got killed when he did a trade with the Sixers, but that's neither here nor there. I think good pick at the time. And then I'm really surprised the Nuggets went all the way down to Emmanuel Mudiay. I think this is the guy the Sixers probably should have taken. Moved down, no less. Not taking him at 3, moved down and taking him there. I think Mudiay is going to be a good player. From what the little bit I've seen of him and what I've heard, I think he's a good player. He can run the point, and the Nuggets definitely need somebody to run the point because Ty Lawson's on the trade block. And by the way, Ty Lawson, yeah, he stinks. Okay, and some other just quick draft picks I want to give you that I was a little shocked on. The Hornets taking Frank Kaminsky at number 9. Not that Kaminsky wouldn't go in the first round from Wisconsin, but I'm surprised he took him that high. The report on Frank Kaminsky is he's a good shooter. Obviously, you saw him in the tournament. Good shooter, good player, great rebounder, this and that. Just not that big of a guy. Going to get beat around inside a little bit, but I guess you could put on some weight, be a good player with the Hornets. Justice Winslow, good pick for the Heat. I think this Duke player, he's conditioned, he's ready to go. He do need somebody to step in there, and he could be a starter. He definitely could be a starter with this team. The Heat's up and coming, rebuilding. Dwayne Wade, $20 million. I think that's a joke, but in any sense, I think it's a good pick for the Heat. And Houston, I think, got the best pick of all, Sam Decker out of Wisconsin. Great three-point shooter. Houston just loves those three-point shooters. Had Ariza back in the day, or actually now still. You need a three-point shooter nowadays in the league, and Golden State proved that just to get everything rolling again. So I think that's a good pick. Turn to baseball real quick. Detroit put Cabrera on the DL for the first time ever in his career. Wow. Not only is that an accomplishment, I just think in the same sense it's going to hurt Detroit. Here's a guy who's Triple Crown winner, just does everything every night for them. I definitely don't think you're going to see a Detroit in a downward spiral, but I think it's going to hurt them for the time being, and he needs to get back. A-Rod hit his 3,000th hit the other day, and the person who caught the ball in the outfield said he wasn't giving it back after they offered him this and that. What ended up happening is this player, Zach, again, the last name escaped me right now, went to Major League Baseball, and all he wanted was a $150,000 contribution to a charity, which is great. He's wanted presented it to A-Rod. End of story. So it all works out in the end, but in the beginning it was all about greed. He was looking to sell it, and I think he realized he wasn't going to sell it because it wasn't really that official or that much price, so he decided to go the other route. And lastly, great story, war veteran Doc Jacobs lost a leg in Iraq serving this country, but that hasn't stopped him from trying to fulfill a dream of playing in Major League Baseball. Next week he will receive a tryout from the Cleveland Indians. We wish him well at the Sports Box. Hope he does get in Major League Baseball. Is it a long shot? I don't know if it's a long shot, but he does have some uphill battles with that, being like everyone else. But like I said, it could be done. He's got the heart, he's got the drive, definitely could pull it off. And let's see what Cleveland does with that. Turning to the NFL, the big news this week was the 4 players busted for PEDs. What a surprise, performance-enhancing drugs again. And the biggest name in there was Antonio Gates. And Antonio Gates, in an interview, said, I quote, "I didn't realize what I was putting into my body at the time. I was just looking to recover in the offseason." I know, Antonio, you've only been playing 12 years in the league. I'm sure it just slipped your mind what you could put in your body. Whatever. So those 4 players are out. Some up-and-coming stuff. We were going to talk about a little bit about the draft today, but I don't want to bore you to death with that because, to be honest with you, after the 5th pick, gets a little sketchy talking about NHL draft players because they're all in the minor leagues. But going to try to get one Lou Barducci, our NHL draft guy, here to talk a little NHL draft. Maybe mix that up in the mix this week or next week. Next week we're going to have Jukebox Jim Santora come back on, talk about our almost mid-season NBA or MLB report for baseball. We're going to break down divisions for you so you can watch individual shows on each division. So if you have a favorite team, you can just turn to that show, watch your division, and see what you say about it. It should be fun. And in 2 weeks, Big Chuck D should be in the house again, and we're going to break down our NFL schedules. Schedule by schedule, division by division. We're going to talk about teams. And again, I didn't forget about it. We still got it upcoming. We still got to get a date to film it yet. Our Eagles-Cowboys showdown. 2-2. 2 guys on each end. Should be very, very interesting. Looking forward to that. So, well, that's all the time we have at the Sports Box today. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to put some shows together for you. If there's anything you want to say to me, questions, comments, Mike, you're doing a great job. Mike, you're doing a terrible job. Whatever. Just please write in. Love to hear your stuff. Love to break out the mailbag. Got a lot of good comments now. So, happy 4th of July, folks. Have a good weekend. Be safe. And remember, the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters, is right here. Take care. Have a good one. Booyah!